Today I'm taking a crack at Vina's famous burnt Basque cheesecake. My goal is to improve upon this recipe by omitting the flour and adding a few flavor-building ingredients. Okay, grab an 8-inch springform pan and 2 pieces of standard 12 by 16 inch parchment paper. Now take the paper and shove it into the pan and kind of press it out around the edges. Some pleats will form, and that's totally cool because they'll give the cheesecake this really funky and distinctive edge. Reserve the pan and grab either a stand mixer or a hand mixer if you have one. Now, I've been trying not to use equipment like this in recent videos, but this recipe calls for a lot of cream cheese, which is thick and dense, so an appliance like this really comes in handy. Now, I have 1, 2, 3 blocks of room temperature cream cheese here, and each one weighs about 8 ounces or 227 grams. In total, I'm using 1.5 pounds or 680 grams for this recipe. Go ahead and unwrap each block of cream cheese one at a time and add them to the mixing bowl. Then attach the bowl to the base of the mixer, along with the paddle attachment. Just a little PSA here, don't use the whisk attachment. Cream cheese is really dense, so you're gonna have a heck of a time trying to remove it from in between the tines. Okay, turn the mixer on to setting 4, which should be about medium speed, and process the cheese until the blocks are broken up and the cream cheese is completely homogeneous and slightly whipped. Now grab your eggs, that'll be 4 for this recipe, and working one at a time, crack it into a small bowl and not directly into the mixing bowl. I mean, no one's gonna want shell in their slice of cheesecake. Now pour the egg into the mixing bowl with the cream cheese and run the mixer on medium speed until the egg is totally incorporated. Repeat the same process of cracking and adding and incorporating with each of the remaining 3 eggs. And when you're done, the mixture should look pretty loose. You'll also have a ton of cream cheese stuck around the insides of the bowl, so we're gonna have to take care of that. So remove the bowl from the mixer, grab a spatula, and clean off any rogue cream cheese hiding on the paddle. Then scrape off all of the stuff that's stuck around the inside of the bowl. Now, all of this clumpy cream cheese will get incorporated into the batter as we add and mix in the other ingredients. Alright, add 10 ounces, 280 grams, or 1 1/3 cup of white sugar to the cream cheese and the eggs. Attach the bowl and paddle to the mixer and process everything until the sugar is completely incorporated. Now, this should only take about 30 seconds to a minute. Now I'm going to add a few additional ingredients in an attempt to elevate the flavor of the cheesecake. Start by adding a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, or even better, the seeds from a vanilla bean if you have one. Vanilla kind of acts like salt in a savory dish and enhances the flavors of all of the other ingredients in the recipe. Next up, a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. Almonds are prevalent in Spanish cuisine, and you'll find plenty of desserts that include them in one way or another. Now add a half teaspoon of fine sea salt. This is also another flavor enhancer. Grab an orange along with a microplane and zest the entire thing. Now, oranges, like almonds, are very popular in Spanish cuisine, and they just happen to pair extremely well with every other ingredient in this cheesecake. Finally, add 12 ounces, 340 grams, or 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Then run the mixer on medium speed for a minute or 2 until all of the ingredients are homogeneous and the sugar has dissolved completely. Grab the parchment-lined springform pan that you prepared earlier and carefully pour the cheesecake batter into it. Now, use a silicone spatula to scrape the inside of the bowl just to get every last bit. Place the pan in a preheated 425 degree Fahrenheit or 218 degrees Celsius oven for a total of 45 to 50 minutes. When done, your cheesecake should look something like this. Kind of burnt all over and very jiggly. Even more jiggly than what you see here because my cheesecake had to sit for a few minutes while I set up my camera. Unmold the cheesecake once it's come down to room temp, or better yet, chilled in the fridge for a few hours. Carefully remove the parchment around the edges of the cake, which will reveal something quite unique. Kind of like a beautiful disaster in my opinion, but I really do love how it turns out. Now, slicing cheesecake can be very tricky. It's hard to keep the cake from sticking to the knife, which makes for a pretty messy slice, but there's a solution. Rest the knife in very hot water before making a cut. That'll melt the cheese before it has a chance to stick to the blade. Grab a thick slice of cake and place it on a dessert plate. It doesn't need a sauce or a dusting of powdered sugar or anything else to go on it, but the experience isn't complete without a glass of dry sherry. Its crisp, almondy sort of savory flavor pairs perfectly with rich cheesecake. Okay, this slice has been staring me in the face for a while now, so I'm gonna dig in.